So about a week ago, I see this scene of The Flash season 5, episode 15, titled King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd, where Team Flash tries to find a metahuman to try to test the cure on. And they agree as a team that the cure should never be forced on anyone and that they will always ask permission first. But what the clip specifically focused on was the argument between Cisco, Caitlin, and Barry. And everybody in the comments is literally getting mad at Cisco and Caitlin for literally the wrong reason. Because this scene right here where King Shark gets controlled by Gorilla Grodd and grabs Cisco and almost eats him, Barry takes the choice to go ahead and just give him the cure. What I really don't like about this video is that it cuts out the conversation that the team has when Shay landed after he woke up from taking the cure. But then Caitlin explains to Shay that he did actually take the cure, but it was specifically worked for metahumans and his animal genes fought back on it. So for it to fully wipe his genes of King Shark, he would need to take it again. So then Barry goes, okay, well, call me when we're ready to inject the cure a second time. So now Caitlin and Cisco is confused because Barry didn't give King Shark much of a choice and just gave him the cure. And Barry says, well, that was kind of hard to do when King Shark had you dead to rights. Which is true, he did save Cisco's life, but the point that people failed to realize from Cisco and Caitlin's argument was that Barry was using that as an excuse to give King Shark the cure. Because earlier in the episode, before they go out to try to communicate with King Shark, Cisco gets the cure ready, and Barry's just trying to rush to give it to him. And Cisco reminds him, like, hey, we need to talk to him first. Then Barry goes, I saved you, man. What did you want me to do? Risk your life? And Caitlin says that's not the point. And it's not, because you could see from the begin with that Barry was trying to give him the cure from the start, like without even asking him. Cisco says, and we agreed as a team to wait for his permission, but Barry didn't do that. And he's not wrong. Barry goes, oh, well, look what happened. You're alive. And Shay seems to like being human. So that's a win-win. And then Cisco goes, well, that's what you think a hero does? Force people to do what you want them to do? And he says, well, he was going to eat you. What was I supposed to do? And then Caitlin mentions, okay, well, we agreed as a team that the cure should never be used as a weapon and that we will always ask permission. Barry broke that. So in that situation, I feel like he could have, like, since he's literally a speedster, he could have just, like, went on King Shark and phased him out of his grip. But instead, he goes and gives him the cure. And at the end of the argument, Cisco says, well, did you change your mind in the moment, or was this always part of the plan? And as I already explained, we can literally see that this was already Barry's plan. Instead of acknowledging that fact, we get comments like, oh, I love how every time Barry asks them, what was I supposed to do? They keep ignoring the question because that wasn't the point. His intentions was already to give him the cure even before they even started communicating with him. Now this guy's saying, oh, why is they making Barry lose almost every argument when he's right? Which in this case, he's not. He's justifying of why he gave the cure just because Cisco was in danger. Like, you can't do that. And him saying,